Now let's move to the second choice of today's show, another Netflix streaming release for June. And this is a movie starring Adam Sandler, and it's a movie called Hustle. This movie was also released on June 3rd, the same day as The Interceptor. And basically, this stars Adam Sandler as a scout for the NBA, an NBA team, and a Philadelphia team, the Sixers. And basically, he's a scout for the team, and he was an ex-player. He got injured early on his career. He had a hand injury, and he had to his career was over. He got into scouting, and he's scouting around the globe, trying to find new players, up and coming players for the draft. And he gets a promotion early on in the movie by the chairman. And then things sort of get out of his hands. He loses the promotion and he has to go back to scouting. He wants the coach's job. He wants to become a coach. He doesn't want to be traveling anymore because he has a family. But then he gets an opportunity to, another little chance at becoming a coach. The boss in charge says, if you can find me the missing piece of the team, someone who can make the team become a 10 out of 10 team, basically, he'll get a coaching job. So he goes out and he goes to Spain to scout this team, but it turns out the players that he was meant to be scouting are injured, and then he decides to take a little walk to throughout the neighborhood in the streets of Spain, and he sees a street basketball game going on. There's loads of people crowding around this street basketball game, and Adam Sandler's just intrigued, and he's walking up to it, and he sees this big guy, this massive. He must be 7 foot, the guy, who is basically, he looks phenomenal. He's playing this street game. Adam Sandler then, his character of Stanley Sugarman, that's Adam Sandler's character's name, he follows this guy and he introduces himself and, lets him know that he's a scout for the NBA team, the Philadelphian team, the Sixers. And then he brings him back to the US and he tries to get him ready for the draft, and he tries to get him included in the draft. And there's this big game where it's like a trial game, a big trial game where all the big teams are watching, and he's got to try and get him into that game and trying to get him a career within this. And I won't spoil the story, but I will say there's some really, I think, near the end of the movie where there's scenes where there's so much on the line for Adam Sandler and this young man who is trying to become a worldwide basketball player name. There's knife edge moments where you're don't do this, don't. He's got a bit of a temper at times, this guy, and he's, years earlier he was on an assault charge, and people are always trying to poke him and trying to get him angry, and you can see him at certain points in the movie getting enraged, and Adam Sandler's character is just trying to calm him down, and it's a really good movie. And like I said, I won't spoil the ending. I won't spoil whether it's a good or a bad story in the end, if it's a good moment. What I will say, it's a decent movie. It's a decent sports movie. I like sports movies. I think this is why this movie was really up my street. I like sports movies. One of the best sports movies I've watched in recent years is Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt. Fantastic movie. And look, I will say it's not quite on a Moneyball level, and it's definitely not that sort of story. It's, where that was more about stats. This is more of a human story, of a scout finding this young man and he's coaching him, and it's kind of got a Rocky feel, an underdog feel to this story. You see Adam Sandler throughout the streets of Philadelphia. He's driving his car and he's getting this basketball player from Espanyol, from Spain, to run up the streets and to try and work out, and he's coaching him, and he's his father. He's this mentor figure to this young man, and he just wants him to do good because he realizes that him in his career was over because of silly mistakes, and it takes one bad move to your career to fail, and he doesn't want the same for this young man. He wants him to succeed, and it's a really good story. And it's not what I will say as well, it's not your average Adam Sandler movie. And I know he's done a few for Netflix now. I think it was Uncut Gems. I've never seen that, but it's meant to be phenomenal. That is one I'm really interested to watch next. He did Hubie Halloween, which I thought was really funny, but that was kind of back into the comedy phase for Adam Sandler. But it seems from watching this, this is not Waterboy, this is not Hubie Halloween, it's not Big Daddy. He can really do drama really well, Adam Sandler, and I think I've heard this mentioned many a times about comics and comedy actors. They can really drift into dramas quite well. Jim Carrey is another one who can do that quite well. And Adam Sandler, watching his performance here, he is superb. He is really good, and I'd be interested to watch more. Like Uncut Gems is definitely one I want to check out to see that more drama performance from Adam Sandler because he can nail it. He can absolutely nail it. And this one, like I said, I think if you're a sports fan, you'll probably enjoy this more so. I don't like basketball. Look, I'm a British guy. Basketball is not big over here, so I don't really watch basketball. But I'm a sports guy. I like sports in general. This is a movie up my street. So I think if you like sports movies, you'll enjoy Hustle. Check it out. It's on Netflix.